Hi, this is Brian Bjornson again with another Shrink the Government LLC video. I made a number of videos talking about what is wrong with our government. And there is a lot that is wrong with our government, beginning with the fact that it is too damn big. And I get tired of hearing somebody complain and whine about what's wrong all the time, and I'm sure others, anybody who's watched any of these, might be getting a little sick of me complaining and whining. Well, I just spent about an hour watching a video on my computer. It was a TV show made in 1982. It was a tribute to Jerry Lee Lewis, the killer. And that got me to thinking that, as much as I dislike our government because it's too damn big, there are a lot of things about our country. And those are two different things. I hate our government, but I love my country. There are a lot of things about our country that are great. Jerry Lee Lewis is just one of them. And that got me to thinking, I like rock and roll. Jerry Lee Lewis is rock and roll. He's country. He does gospel. He's a great, very talented musician. He was part of a thing called the $1 Million Quartet. Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash. Well, actually, for a while it was a quartet with Charlie Rich in there. 5 great musicians. And it gets me to a thing is, I've been kind of pondering, okay, I love rock and roll. I love the blues. I love jazz. But I don't like racism. And I don't like the way that the blacks have been treated, for centuries. Their enslavement, their liberation with the Civil War, or the emancipation. They weren't liberated. They were still kept in bondage after the Civil War by the racist white Southerners, whose grandchildren became people like Jerry Lee Lewis. The point I'm making is that as bad and terrible as racism and the treatment of the blacks was, would the wonderful music like jazz, blues, rhythm and blues, rock and roll have been created without that evil? I don't know. But it's a question that I've been kicking around. Because I don't know where I first heard this, but it was a description of rock and roll was that is not in the very politically correct. And I'm going to avoid using one particular word that was in the description. And it was, rock and roll is white trash musicians playing Negro music. A different word was used for the word Negro that I have not used, but you know what the word is. And, that's a fact. Rock and roll would not have existed without the music of the blacks. Country is heavily influenced by black musicians, blues musicians. Jazz is black music. That is one of the great things about our country, is It is the creation of the jazz, blues, rock and roll, rhythm and blues, you know. And what is really amazing is how music helped bring about the civil rights for blacks. I have a CD by Jerry Lee Lewis, The Killer, recorded in 1964, where he's playing at two concert venues. It's two concerts. He's playing in two places in Texas. Over half the songs that he does are by Chuck Berry and Little Richard, two black musicians. You know, so here's this cracker, or white boy from Fairday, Louisiana, playing music by two great black musicians. And the white in the crowd, which I'm guessing, because it was recorded in 1964, was a predominantly white crowd, were going crazy. They loved the music that Jerry Lee Lewis played, whether it was by Charlie Rich, Jerry Lee himself, or by Chuck Berry or Little Richard. They loved the music. And this was in 1964, at the end, beginning of the end of the racist discrimination that blacks had been feeling, had been suffering in this country. And, music changed that. Music is a very powerful medium. And when I'm down, I'm depressed or bored, or I listen to some music like Jerry Lee Lewis, Wynton Marsalis, Eric Clapton, the Rolling Stones, Chuck Berry, Ludwig van Beethoven, Charlie Christian. There's a whole bunch of music. Duke Ellington, Count Basie. It goes on and on. Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen. Now there's some crazy music for you. But that's the thing that's great about our country. As bad as things can get, we've always found a way. We've always found the silver lining in the black cloud. And, as bad and as big as our government is getting, there is a silver lining in that cloud. We just have to find it. And I'm looking for it. I hope everybody else is looking for it, because the more people that are looking for it, the sooner it will be found. The liberals aren't going to be in power forever. The leftists, they aren't liberals. The leftists won't be in power forever. And like rock and roll helped bring down the Berlin Wall, and jazz helped bridge the gap against the communists, music will help bring down the leftists. It's, because music speaks to the human soul, the human spirit. It lifts the spirit, and it is wonderful. One of God's greatest inventions. So, life is great. Listen to some great music whenever you're down, and keep on plugging, keep on fighting. Because Chris Christopherson, who was in this video with The Killer, in his song, Me and Bobby McGee, said, freedom ain't nothing but another word to lose, or something like that. But, we have freedom, and we aren't going to lose it. No matter how hard the leftists try, freedom will not die. So, keep on plugging. We're going to win. That's my motto. Like Ronald Reagan said when he talked about the communists, and I'm talking about the leftists. We win, they lose. Have a great day.